Oh, hi everyone. I welcome everyone. Hello everyone. I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of Survivor 46, episode 10. Just to want to, before we get into it, I want to do a couple of things. Some house cleaning, real quick. Housekeeping. Listen, I can't. My blood pressure's. Yeah, I just got over the flu. Y'all, I was so sick last week. Shut up, Tyler. I was so far on the other side. I had Adele and Jesus, one on each side.
Whoa.
It's hello from the other side. Anyway, so I'm sorry. Nothing wants to work. So, guys, yes, we cover Survivor, and we will get to Survivor, but if you're only here for Survivor content, fast forward to like 25 minutes because we're going to get into some nonsense first. Yeah. It's I don't want to get pummeled and attacked that I have a false advertising on my channel. I mean, I don't know the tagline has been for 9 years. I know absolutely everything there is to know about nothing. So I don't understand why you would come here for hard-hitting investigative journalism when it comes to Survivor. But you know what? Hey, Godspeed, do what you need to do. If I am your hard-hitting journal, welcome. I got things to say. But yeah, also, welcome everyone.
Another housekeeping thing. For anybody that's wondering, where was the recap last week? It got flagged by YouTube for some reason. Beth and I did what we called Survivor. So we did a live watch party.
I'm sorry, what?
Survivor.
We were high and
Aaron was there in the chat. We were all watching Survivor together, but the camera was pointed on me and partially Beth for the.
I was just gonna say Beth was playing Catan for a long time in the very.
Yeah, beginning. Exactly. It was really the Tyler show for a lot of it there, but they flagged it for some reason. I guess the audio cued Paramount to come after us, so we got a little strike, but. So we're back to our normal format today, but the more important news is we have a guest with us this week. One of our friends, one of our listeners, and we actually met him in New Orleans. So we have Aaron with us today. Aaron, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing good. I'm so happy to be here and hanging out with you guys on this lovely Thursday evening. I have brought with me my Bourbon Street mushroom Swiss burger in honor, Liz style, without the bun. And
how is it?
Is it good?
You know what? Okay. I could see eating this every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Every Wednesday. Come on now.
And what else did you get? I need the full Applebee's breakdown because you got some questionable sauces with your onion rings that we need to talk about.
We needed an actual walk through the order that you put in and what you actually got.
Yeah.
Y'all, my stuff is up. My stuff is up. I'm gonna go out and come back in. Y'all go ahead.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, number one, I wanted to get a a Bourbon Street mushroom Swiss burger with lettuce wrap. That's the way that Liz gets it without the bun. So I put that on the order, but then they gave me the bun anyway.
Oh,
just on the. So I guess I have some bread. And then I got some. I have some, those chicken wonton tacos.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
Yeah. I also got garlic mashed potatoes because I just.
Slay. You can never go wrong with garlic mashed potatoes.
Absolutely not. And I know that we will have a lot of fun if we ever ate out together. And
I often do have a lot of fun if I'm eating out with somebody.
True.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just generally speaking.
Yeah, in multiple ways. So then I didn't.
I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm such an asshole.
As soon as I said it, I was like, oh no.
You knew I wasn't going to let that go. I was just like,
No, you were not. And then I got onion
Yay.
rings, which normally are supposed to come with honey barbecue sauce. But I guess, you just mix up honey barbecue and Nutella all the time. Because they obviously onion rings are a dessert. So
I do
because I
want
opened
to
it
say,
and I smelled chocolate and I was like, this is not honey barbecue at all.
I
any
want
way,
to
shape,
say
or form.
for the listeners that not only do I make fun of very innocent things that Aaron says and twist them on air, but before we even started, I did make him indeed try the onion ring with the Nutella sauce, and I want to commend him for letting me bully him
Yeah.
as a guest on our show.
Yeah.
It's Nutella, though. I would eat anything off
I
Nutella.
think the
I'd eat
fried
Nutella
bread
off
with the
Tyler.
Nutella, so good. So good.
I don't think I've ever tried Nutella, actually.
Am I in the
And
mic?
you like
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah, I hear you.
I do like chocolate, yeah.
It is more of a chocolate than anything else kind of spread. I know it's hazelnut too, but like it is very good.
Can I give you a one of Allison's little Martha Stewart?
Ooh.
You know, you guys were mesmerized by my potpourri get up last week or 2 weeks ago. So what I do
yeah.
sometimes for my stress eating, I take Nutella out of the jar and I put heaping spoonfuls into a little bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take marshmallow syrup, the syrup. Tyler, God, you've never even had Nutella. Just stop. And I pour
Marshmallow
it.
syrup. I've never heard of that.
I'm
Marshmallow
wondering how you make
fluff.
the ball.
The fluff, yeah.
Oh,
The fluff.
okay.
So you put it. You can do the fluff. You can do this with Ready Whip. You can do it with anything. But the syrup, the sticky syrup, I put it a bunch in there and I just stir it. I just force it. I stir it. And then, that's how I get high these days.
I have questions. The first thing,
That's a
How are you-
Nutella.
a Nutella.
Ooh.
How do you
Mhm.
make the ball? Are you putting all these spoonfuls in your hand?
No,
and
I'm not
creating
making a ball, honey. I'm
just
taking the
reaching.
spoon and I'm getting it out with another utensil.
But you said you make a ball. How do you
No,
make
in
it?
a bowl.
Oh, okay. That's
I heard ball too.
Sorry,
I'm
that's
right here, and I was, but you also went like this with your hands at the time, and so I thought you were like making a ball, and I was like, so you're taking spoonfuls out, slapping
Yeah.
them in here, and then taking syrup
Listen,
and like.
nothing's
Okay, I'm
impossible.
picturing like a TikTok of Allison like making this like Nutella snack or whatever.
Okay.
Please do that so we can
It's,
see it.
Oh, yeah.
It's 11
Can we
o'clock
add-
on Friday night.
Okay, no. We're adding a whole other layer to this.
Okay.
We're
Well,
adding
grandson
graham
loves it.
crackers, and it's
Oh.
basically a Nutella s'more
Yes.
dip.
I want to say that my husband, Captain Obvious, is kind of a little homemaker, little Martha Stewart. He makes chocolate chip cookies from scratch.
Ooh.
And I have taken my Nutella and I have put it in between two freshly baked out of the oven chocolate chip cookies. Now, I was in the bathroom for a very long amount of time, about
doesn't
90 minutes.
matter,
But you know
honey.
what? It was
Doesn't
worth
matter.
every
You know
second.
what? You give me some of that while I'm sitting on the toilet, and I will just
You know
be
what?
prepared. I'll
I'll be in the bathroom. Just bring the tray.
You know what I would also
Roll
do
it
for
on
that?
in.
I would also.
My bidet's ready.
But imagine a side of vanilla ice cream with that.
Oh, yes.
I know
Actually,
what we're
yeah.
doing this weekend. Well, my grandson, who's 2.5, lives for it. He knows when I'm in that special cabinet what's coming out, and he goes, "Oh,
It's the Nutella cabinet.
yeah." He even says, "Oh."
You know what's so funny is I know, so this is not nearly as decadent as what you put together, but my grandmother used, those little oyster crackers that you would put in soup?
Yeah.
Mhm.
My my grandmother used to make like this kind of like ranch seasoned oyster cracker thing.
Oh,
It was
yes.
incredible. And so every time we saw her go to this one cupboard, we knew it was time for her to make those oyster crackers. And we were like so excited. So I see this, Allison, this is going to be a formative memory. And he's going to be like, Alice, or what's it called? Gigi? Is that what he calls you?
Gigi.
He's going to be like, Gigi used to go and make me Nutello, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and man, gosh, I know what we're doing Saturday night. He's coming over Saturday if we're all not dying anymore. And
I hope so.
Yeah, and we're gonna probably do that, and I'll be sick and not eating for a week because I won't be able to. Stuff gets in you, and it's anyway. It sticks.
It does have a stick consistency, like not sticky, but just like your body needs to break that shit down.
It's kind of like during this episode of Survivor when Q and crew were eating Applebee's, and they all had to stop, and they all had that look of, "Where's the stalls? Where's the bathroom?"
Who has
want me
the
to
poop
eat a
hole
what?
dug already?
Dude, that mushroom burger came out, and I was like, "Oh, they can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do it." And then they talked about how they couldn't do it in front of Liz.
Oh, Aaron, I need you to, if you're willing, to tell us, what do you think you would feel if you were eating this meal after 2+ weeks of playing Survivor?
Actually, the amount of seasoning in this, I'd be like, wow. I feel like my palate would be extra sensitive because like when you play games like this, and I even just from like LRG stuff, like after a couple, and basically LRGs and Survivor are almost the same thing at this point, just from the length and the experience. But I think you get hungry and everything smells like 3 times more. Like you are like, especially when you haven't eaten and then you start walking and then you like smell food. And even if it's something that you don't necessarily like, if it's in front of you and you have the option to eat it, it's probably going to be the best version of that food that you've had just because it's so relieving.
And then you eat it so fast.
And then you get all the run. Yeah.
You get the runs. Yeah. Your stomach does that tighten thing that the only thing what's going to happen when that releases.
Well, that's the thing is like, I think what you just brought up is a good point because I don't like mushrooms. I love mushrooms. But I like cream of mushroom soup mixed in for like a stroganoff or a stew or something. I just don't want to eat actual mushrooms. It's a texture thing, and I just don't care for the flavor just by itself, right?
Yeah.
But I have a feeling after not eating anything except for coconut and maybe a few other things, I would absolutely be eating all the mushrooms on that burger.
Yeah, actually, I'm getting more of like a cream of mushroom thing because there's no physical mushrooms that I'm seeing.
Oh, then I'm 1,000% scarfing that down.
So one thing that we had brought up in our chat earlier today is, and we'll do this before let's go ahead and do this before the recap since we're talking about food, and this is making me very hungry. What restaurant could Jeff, like what chain could he whip out in front of you that would make you have a Liz moment?
Listen, I know my answer. I think Beth knows my answer.
I think your answer might be similar to my answer.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, let's say our answers on 3. Okay, ready? 1.
Wait. 2. We're saying our answers for ourselves,
or not mine, because I know what
I think yours is.
I want you to answer what you think mine is.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Olive Garden.
Yeah,
absolutely. If those endless breadsticks and salad and fettuccine Alfredo with chicken, or the tour of Italy, if all of that was right in front of me and then Q didn't pick me for the award, you best believe I'd be going, I'm pissed! You ruined my game! You blew up my whole spot! I haven't been able to eat in days, Q! I'm pissed! And I want Olive Garden! I want it! Sorry, Jeff. It's over. It's done. But I want breadsticks.
Can I also guess what Allison's is?
Oh,
Oh,
I guess not.
she couldn't handle
She's-
my outbursts.
Honestly, that was so good, Tyler.
Thank you. Thank
You know what?
I don't get loud too often.
I can get loud too. What the fuck? No.
I can get loud too. What the fuck?
I think Olive Garden was one that I absolutely considered, and I was like, I know Tyler's going to say Olive Garden though.
Oh yeah.
Um,
It's
I
all carbs. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like
Yes.
Joe got like medevaced and go wrong for like having too much beef?
right.
That's not a problem in Olive Garden. It's all just bread and carbs and cheese. Well, I always worry about that. Like, if I were out on Survivor, like eating too much beef for a reward, like
Right.
I would just hate to be medevaced because I literally could not shit. It's a valid concern.
for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Allison, can I guess what your restaurant is?
God damn internet.
Nope.
Ooh.
I'm gonna just say it now. I think hers is Chick-fil-A.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. What about you, Beth? What's your restaurant? What's your chain restaurant?
Olive Garden's up there, like I said. This one is not one. Okay, because I don't go to chain restaurants often unless they're like fast food places. And
Yeah.
if we're talking like a step up from fast food, but more of a sit down kind of thing, I gotta say Texas Roadhouse.
Mm.
That
I was
made
about to say that.
Oh, were you really, Aaron? I'm with you. Are we like
The
good
way
chicken, good beef, but more than anything else, it's that
the
maple
rolls,
fucking butter and the
the
rolls.
roll,
Thank you.
like,
In the margarita. Thank
oh
you.
my god,
Yeah.
just for the bread alone.
Yes.
I love bread. I love bread
bread,
so much. Yeah, I had two choices. It would have been Roadhouse or, for a similar reason, Golden Corral, or like an old country, or like so where you could get like a sampling of a lot of things, you know.
Oh yeah, like Ponderosa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What? I had Ponderosa.
How
And then
Ponderosa
Ponderosa.
I know. How has Ponderosa not been like a sponsor?
Come
Because
on.
it's right there. It's right there. You know.
Can y'all say
Yes, we can.
Oh yeah.
All right,
we can.
Allison, we need to know what restaurant would make you have like what chain restaurant would make you have like a Liz style meltdown on the
If
mat?
you-
Well, right now, you know, my internet is working really good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
Yes.
I apologize. God bless. I was thinking of a chain that, you know, most people would know because local stuff here you wouldn't know, but Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, that
They
is
did.
That would
so
go
good.
through me, but I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care.
It'll bring out that miso chicken, that Korean cauliflower with my s'mores and my Godiva Death by Chocolate and key lime pie and my Parmesan,
That is a really
mashed
good answer.
That's a good
potatoes.
answer.
I love
And,
the idea that Jeff comes out and goes, you can order, and because they're so skimpy nowadays on the rewards, like, you can order anything off the Skittylicious menu.
I don't go to Cheesecake Factory to eat healthy. Let me tell you something. If you're dieting and you want to, you know, be a better, you know, have a better eating patterns, why the fuck are you a cheesecake? But there's no excuse.
There's really no excuse.
My favorite. I'm just dying laughing at the idea. Remember last year where they just had to share a whole chicken? That was their whole reward.
What happened to Outback Steakhouse? Did they say we can't do this anymore? What happened?
I get.
I'm not
Outback
saying
is always been
Applebee's.
Big Brother, right?
I think so,
Well,
yeah.
they did Outback on Survivor too.
Did they? I thought it was always Applebee's.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, remember
Heroes versus
Sandra loved
Villains.
Outback?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right, Aaron.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another one I would like is Panda Express. Like I would go
Oh,
to
for
town
talking
on
fast
some,
food
like,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
like orange chicken
Mhm.
and fried
I
rice.
love
Like
orange-
that would be so good.
You know what I
Like,
love
if it was-
about my friendship with Tyler is that if he ever came over and I said I want to get Chinese and he said yes, let's do it. And if I said, but I also when I say I want to get Chinese, I want Panda Express, even though we live in a city that has really good Chinese food, he'd be like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have friends and family who would be looking at me like, why would you want Panda Express when we can get XYZ? And I'm like,
that shit, like, I know what you're saying. Like, that annoys me so much. And it's the same, like, when I talk about my love for Olive Garden and people are like, oh, that's not real Italian food. And I'm like, I'm not trying to have like a real Italian experience by going to Olive Garden. I'm trying to have unlimited breadsticks, salad and fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah.
That I can dip the breadsticks in the cheese.
If
like,
that's what I want real Italian, I could go to any number of amazing places here in the city. Yeah. I want Olive Garden because I want the breadsticks and everything there to offer. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going there because I want to almost die from sodium. I want to bloat up.
Exactly.
I want to feel gross. I want to feel like I'm going to vomit on the way home. That's when I'm happy.
I want to take 5 years off of my life with one meal.
Yeah.
When I go to Olive Garden, I want a waiter who has to pretend that they're a sommelier and offer me 2 of the sweetest wines you've ever damn tasted in your life. That would be it. Yeah, and they have to serve it and show it like this. I want them to in there. The full experience of pretending like I am at an actual Italian restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
You know what I love? Like the macaroni grill. Remember the macaroni grill?
Yeah.
And you could draw on the tablecloth.
You could.
Wow. It's like that. You're not going there for the exquisite experience. With Junior over here.
I have a weird survivor fantasy now. Thinking about it. You know what would be a good new era restaurant?
What?
Give me, because it's prepped for fights. Give me a Waffle House.
Oh,
give me. I want like
Allison's thrown down in a Waffle House.
I want like make it like a night reward. I want like 1 a.m.
Listen,
sitting down,
look at
fire going around, fights breaking out. The employees don't care. They will throw down with you.
You know what they should do? They should make the employees be some of the more combative contestants, alumni who have ever been on the show, and they have to be the ones that serve.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like their job
has to be 3 o'clock in the morning for them to act up, though. It can be 6:30 in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Speak from experience.
So Allison, I've been waiting since yesterday. So of course, like I don't want to like bury the lead, but like we have to first talk about the Liz outburst. Like
no, I'm sorry. Before we get to that point, I'm so sorry. Allison, I've been waiting on bated breath. You said you had a special announcement, and I want to hear what that is before we actually talk about Survivor.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
I'm sorry.
I'm scared. I don't like surprises.
And guys, I see you in the chat. I just can't respond right now. EJ Cruz and Matt and all y'all. I see y'all in there. Hello, Heather G. Yes, the time has come. This is about JoJo, little JoJo. Something happened with him, and I made the executive decision to have him neutered Monday, May 13th, as he was trying to fornicate with my Sherpa robe. He was humping my robe. His ding-a-ling was out. He was motioning the hips. He's been attacking Phoebe, my female. Ooh. And so little man, y'all have watched him grow up on this show. He's giving me the cold shoulder right now because he was sitting in my lap when I made the call. So he knows.
I am, for one, excited for this new journey, but also more excited that I won't have to hear about his balls all the time anymore.
They're the biggest set I've ever seen. And I will say this, Chris, my husband, would not let me ask if I could keep them like a little lucky rabbit's foot on my keychain.
I want to thank Chris. Can you give me your address to send a handwritten thank you note?
I'm like, he's like, you're not going to ask. I said, I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask. You're giving me the look. I'm not going to ask. You did come back in town a day early when I was dying last week. I guess I'll let you have this one.
Oh, no.
Aaron, if you haven't, I'm sure you have because she mentions it almost every week, but if you haven't heard about how giant, and it is true, his balls are big.
I've seen pictures.
Oh, I would need to see because I just to get the idea of like what we're dealing with.
As
You
you say.
any number of the Instagram accounts that Allison currently has, because it's so funny to me. You literally have like what, 4 Instagram accounts or something like that, and it's often the same picture posted on all 4. And I'll be scrolling and be like, I thought I already liked that, and then I'll like it, and then I'll realize it's a
Just
different.
keep liking. Just keep liking. All my cats have one Instagram. JoJo has his own Instagram. I have an Instagram,
And then my weekly
and this
meltdown.
show has a Instagram. Yes. And yes, we're going to. I'm having the ball snipped. He's going to be a man. He's going to cross over. No nudicles. I already know.
Good.
We're not doing the implants.
Can I also say it is possible, and I don't know if you went through this with Finley or Oliver or anything, but it's possible that for the next couple of years, even after he's neutered, he still humps and gets erections and such.
I will let him hump whatever he wants as long as he ain't spraying.
That's all we care about.
That's true.
And I'm doing it right just at 7 months old because they said, look, if you probably waited another 2, he'd probably be spraying. Because once they start humping,
Ooh.
I'm laying in bed watching. It was Twilight was on the other night, and I sent y'all that video that there's a possibility that no one even acknowledged, by the way. No one acknowledged.
I liked it.
It's a lot of effort for me to edit that perfect. Shut up, Tyler. So I've got little man humping the Sherpa, and I'm like, I can't make cat porn. I can't make cat porn. I'm not that cat-like.
Thank God there is a boundary.
I even have boundaries. I know, hard to believe even I have a
there was one, Allison.
I don't have boundaries
no.
with people, but I do with cats.
Oh man. Well, that is a huge announcement. I'm very thankful that I interrupted Tyler's transition into Survivor.
Yeah. I'm very happy for you, Allison. I don't know what else to say because I don't know. I don't speak.
So
to cats.
speaking of hormone infused tantrums things, Liz, I don't know. I was trying to make some kind of transition.
Okay. So like Liz's freak out, right? Like that was like the highlight of the episode. And y'all, I loved it. Like, I'm not crazy about like Liz as a character on Survivor, but I can separate the art from the artist. This outburst was so fantastic, and it was like one of my favorite like modern Survivor moments because how many times have I been saying on this show like I want more drama, I want more mess, I want more chaos. Like, what is more chaotic than literally just having like an outburst? Not just at camp, but like on the mat with Jeff Probst right there and literally like screaming, I'm pissed! I'm pissed, Q! You ruined my whole game! You blew my whole spot! I'm pissed and I want Applebee's! And like it was so fantastic. It was great TV.
I love it.
I'm so glad they didn't cut it. I'm so glad Jeff didn't interrupt it. It was a beautiful moment that like, and we've been wondering like who the hell is Liz like the entire season. If this is all we get from Liz, like I'm satisfied. I'm here for it. Still not crazy about her as a character, but like I was so happy with it, and I just could not wait to like talk about this beautiful moment here on the show. It was fantastic. What do y'all think?
It was.
Yeah,
it was really interesting because I had a lot. I think the only word that came to my mind was Schadenfreude. From like just in terms, and I don't know what it is about this season, but like I feel like this is the most detached I think I've been from really rooting for anybody. I feel like I'm just watching a game play out. These are Survivor contestants. Cool.
True.
Like, oh, you want immunity? Fine. Oh, they got voted out? Okay. This Alliance one? Sure. So watching this, it was kind of like a weird, like, on one hand, I have been Liz. You know, there have been times where you just, you know, a few moments left where you just choose somebody out, or you want to choose somebody out, and it just comes out like that. And then after 2 seconds, you're like, okay, all right, I just needed to get that out.
Yeah.
And so I can understand like the human level, especially because of the emotional attachment, not necessarily to the food, but just the weekly ritual spending, you know, with her daughter and everything and all that. So I could probably understand that was a big reason behind or motivating factor in just how intense it was. But on the other hand, I kind of was laughing, you know, through it.
Yeah.
I was just really enjoying the moment.
I mean, that's me every day when I wake up. So everybody's like freaking out. I'm like, what? This isn't normal. This is me every day.
I think I would have had a Liz moment. I've long said that I do think that this is something that I know about myself that I think is a more negative trait, but I don't think it's something that nobody else has. But I am somebody that needs a lot of validation, and I'm somebody who wants attention. And so
What, a Leo who wants attention?
I don't.
Oh, I have the same
my
thing, Beth,
gosh.
also a Leo. So completely.
Just gonna say, I knew
understand.
Aaron was a Leo too,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
let's just
no
chat
way,
about
Beth.
that. Aaron, if I remember correctly, our birthdays are not that far apart from each other.
No,
I think you're like 3 or 4 days after mine or something like that.
that
Right?
I think that's right.
I'm
Yeah,
the 10th of August. I don't know.
12th. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look at that. I'm remembering.
Mhm.
I think that I would not be thinking about making a TV moment. I don't think I would be yelling like Liz,
Mm-mm.
but I do think at that point, if I've been hungry, and if we also have to remember with Liz in particular, she has not been eating like at all, right? So if I'm at her level of like, I'm not eating, this is my favorite restaurant. There's a ritual
I'm
attached
still
to
here.
it. There's all these things to it. I know me, and there would be a TV moment. Not because I'm trying to make a TV moment, but because I would be the one who would be making passive aggressive comments. And then they would say something and I'd be like, great, you said something. Now I can actually say something. And then I would get into it. And then I would feel immediately awful as soon as it was done.
I'd want to cry.
I would want to cry. And then I would be like, I'm a fucking bitch, like blah, 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 blah. Like that's exactly how I am. And so I know that about me. And this is my audition for Survivor season 40. So I'm just kidding.
Well, and I think like what really sent Liz over the edge was like it was Q that like took that away.
You of all people.
You know what I mean? Like, right, exactly. Like, I think she had just like totally just had it with Q.
Yeah.
So I get it. I just like it was such a moment. Like I don't know. It was iconic behavior. And like right before we went live on the show, like it showed up on TikTok, and I was just like replaying that clip like 5 or 6 times. I was like, this is so good. Any future players out there watching my weekly Meltdowns coverage of Survivor 46, more messy moments like that, please. Because I
want to also put out there and say that if that's the kind of television that you want to watch, girl, past 2 seasons of RuPaul Drag Race has got you covered.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. What I like, okay, I know that this is not a RuPaul's Drag Race podcast, but I need to say this because we have watched a couple of seasons on here. I've made them watch a couple of seasons on here. RuPaul's Drag Race used to be about drag queens who for a long time were notorious for being loud, egotistical, dramatic, people who were competitive and sassy and all those kind of things. And then they get on television and they were those things for about 6 years.
Yeah.
And social media started kicking in. And then for about 6 years, people have been like, I've got to be as nice as possible and as cordial in my things or whatever. And it made this weird thing where we also have a societal thing going on right now where everyone is attacking trans people and like drag queens. And so now drag queens have to be model citizens. And like, so you have that, and you have people on the show who are like, this is their career and they don't want to leave the show and have a higher platform, but that platform is them just getting attacked all the time for saying certain things. What I love right now is that since season 15 was last year, season 16 was this year, we have queens that are throwing tantrums for not winning. It's something that they did really well in. We have queens that are openly saying like, I don't like your look. I don't get it. What's going on? We have queens that are acting like drag queens. And we have queens that are also opening up and talking about the normal like things that make Drag Race great. Drag Race is hitting their stride again. And it's because they're casting people who are actually willing to be like, fuck the fan base. They're going to come to my show regardless. So if they want to attack me online, fine. I'm going to be making more money and I'm going to be a better artist because I'm going to have resources in order to do the things I want. And I'm loving that. It is so good. So I got to say, if you are somebody who likes the kind of raw emotion stuff of people who maybe don't act the way that quote unquote normal, civilized, whatever, blah, 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 in every single situation would, look no further, because that's what I do think has been missing from a lot of reality shows because of Twitter. Big Brother tends to not feel that as much because during the season, they're not looking at it. And when they get home, that's where all the backtracking happens. But when they're on the show, it's a little different. So that's what Big Brother's positive is. But ooh, man, telling you. Anyway, that was a long-winded TED talk about why the evolution of RuPaul's Drag Race has been great. And now we have JoJo here to comment. JoJo.
Yeah, that's why I had to get up because he was upset that I had locked him out of the don't eat my hair. Don't eat my hair. Yes, this is Joseph Martin and his balls are down here, but we won't go there right now. Shh, sensitive subject. I could just, Beth, if that's what you want 24/7, I'll just set up a live stream in my living room. I mean, seriously, my husband picked last night's episode to watch. This man has not watched Survivor with me since, when were they in the desert? Was that season
Australia?
2?
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah. They were in the desert. And Liz had her meltdown. Yeah, Chris Liz had her meltdown. And and Chris just kind of looked over at me and I'm like, what? He's like, ask me again if I think you could get on Survivor.
Yeah.
He's like, I live this. I'm like, oh, you do not. I do not. He's like, when the internet goes out. I mean, anyway, but it's just my life. But I feel like, look, when you're at your wit's end and you've had enough and you're just in a situation, like you don't really know how you're going to act in that situation until you get there. Some people can handle not eating and going with that adrenaline. And then some people, they just, I looked at my husband last night and I said, let me tell you something. Do you see what just happened here? She had a tantrum for 10 minutes and they let her have her tantrum. They didn't interrupt her and everything was fine afterwards. Take note of that because I've said it from day one. If you let me have my little fit, it'll be over with. But if you want to interrupt and sprinkle your little nuggets in there, you're going to prolong the inevitable.
Nuggets.
I don't need
first, I don't think you should be mentioning the words "little nuggets" in front of JoJo right now.
Yeah, he has big ones.
True. But,
he just looked at the camera.
But I also think that like part of this outburst is like I feel like Liz realizes that she's not winning this season at this point either. So like if she can't even like get like a reward, like, and also like nobody should feel like entitled to getting a reward too. Like I'm big about that too. So it's hard for me to like feel super bad and like we can like have this amazing sob story about like her kids and like her like not having like food growing up and stuff like that. I get it. totally understand. But I don't like nobody's like entitled to having the reward, and Liz is playing like a terrible like losing game. Like she can't even get her footing against Q. Like that's really bad. And I think that Liz realizes that her game is like non-existent. She has no chance to win at the end. So I think it's more just Liz just kind of like throwing her hands up in the air and being like, why am I even still here? Like, I think if Liz got voted out like in the next episode, I think she would not be pissed at all. She'd be like, all right, like let me go to Ponderosa and eat and just be done with this. Like that's how I feel about Liz. I feel like she is just like done with this experience.
But what does it say about Survivor when they purposely roll out the only gosh damn food that Liz can eat? Probably knowing Q ain't gonna pick her ass. You understand what I'm saying? You know, what does it look like in the control room when that's going on? But she got a
I'll
rice.
tell you what it looks like. They go, thank God we got fucking
Good TV.
drama.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Can we show something, Tyler? Go to the overlays. I uploaded a really funny overlay. You'll see it. It's the very last one. I saw this on. Yes. You'll see that is Liz yelling at Q. He said, I'm pissed. Y'all so ain't going with that. I can't read it. It's too small. But you get
Y'all
it.
say you ain't going without eating. I see you eat every day. Q, you almost blew up my whole game. You overshadowed everything I was trying to do. And I said it's cool. I didn't say nothing. I just don't even want to be around y'all. It just, Q, you blew up my whole freaking spot. I didn't even know about the damn split vote last night.
Reply like Siri. Reply like Siri.
Oh, okay. But Liz, you voted for me last night, so.
I'm sorry. I was aggressive out of that.
I mean, like, but like,
she shut
sorry,
up.
Go ahead, Aaron.
That does bring up an interesting thing that I've been thinking about with production as far as new era seasons go, because I feel like they try to figure out what to do about food in new era since they made the game shorter. And like, if this was an earlier season, if this was like season 1 through 40, I don't think we would even have this kind of a situation because even if Liz ate less, Liz still had the option of would have still had the option of rice from like jump. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I know there's certain things that like are going to be uneven when it comes to Survivor, but I think like the actual like I feel like access to food should be the one thing that's relatively even, so that like even like so that like they can say, hey, you all have something to eat. It might not be the same amount of food, but it's something. And so I feel like Liz not really having that option. I don't know. I feel like there's something to be, I mean, the fact that they practically just gave Liz rice, basically.
Yeah,
I know. Like, I agree with that, Aaron. And like Liz, like she knew that she had like a very minimal diet she could eat, like before going out to Survivor. Like it sucks, but like it's really hard for me to feel too much empathy for Liz.
I gotta be honest with you girls, okay? Like as somebody who like I'm sitting back thinking like I would love to play Survivor. Ain't no way they're gonna cast me because I'm gonna need infusions in and the time frame that they are gonna have that. Or they're not gonna be able to accommodate the things I need to eat in order to maintain some of the medications, or they're gonna make me come off the medications completely. Those are things that are inherently a part of like the Survivor experience that I know. People tell me, oh, Beth, you should apply for Big Brother. There's no way they're ever going to cast me for Big Brother as long as I have to have infusions every 8 weeks, because they're going to have to take me out of there to get infusions done, for example. You can't bring that to the diary room. There's all these various things that happen. And we do have to kind of sit back and admit that like shows like this can try their best to be as accommodating for various different things, but are not going to be the right avenue for everybody to go.
Not always
for
gonna
everybody.
work.
And you also need to be aware that if you are going, that they're not going to change the rules to accommodate for you, because that puts you at a weird advantage sometimes, that kind of thing. Now, I am not upset at, like, if I doubt we ever had a diabetic on the show, for example?
Oh.
Like,
I don't know, but there was that
think so.
woman that was partially deaf, and I haven't seen a partially hearing impaired person since her. Am I wrong?
I mean, it's the kind of thing that I'm basically saying is, like, those are things that, like, if you were to have somebody, it's the same argument that we were making 6-7 years ago when people were being forced to come off of their anti-anxiety depression medication, be like, well, it's an advantage if they're on it. I'm like, no, it makes them normal. I'm the type of person who's a fan who would say, like, oh, if Liz needs more rice and she gets her own special supply that she has to manage for the rest of the time, and if she eats too much of it, that's her own fault or whatever, I'm not mad at that. If somebody had to come on the show and they're a type 1 diabetic and they have to have at least 2 glasses of orange juice throughout the day at some point, in addition to, like, having somebody clean a spot for them to take insulin or whatever, I'm not mad at that. But I also don't want them to, like, automatically feel like they're entitled to a reward, or if you're on Big Brother, that you no longer have to be a have-not if that's a part of the game or whatever. Like, I'm fine with things being modified so that person is at a same level. But I also I think people have to be aware that they can't change everything just for you.
Right.
Yeah, look, don't listen. If you're allergic to water, don't go on a show where there's a beach and then bitch about getting wet. Okay, look, you know what your issues are, but you know what your issues are before you get there. Don't complain because you're not being coddled. And I'm not shitting on Liz, and I understand she can't help it. She can't help it at all. I understand. And it's just your problem becomes everybody else's problem. And Q picked who he should have picked in that moment. And and he said, you wrote my name down. You know, what am I supposed to do? And it's just expecting people to. I'm not trying. Look, I'm 4'11". I can't reach everything. And when I go places and do things, I can't go to, like, outdoor concerts and stuff because I can't see over people.
Right.
And, I don't put myself in those kind of situations, because I know I'm going to get pissed off. I'm going to throw a Liz meltdown fit. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. And God knows my husband don't want to hear that shit. So it's just whatever makes it. And I feel like I'm coming off as a giant asshole, and I'm not an insensitive person. I promise you I'm not. But, like, I don't want, I want everyone, like, people who have food allergies, maybe there's a different show. Maybe Big Brother would have been better because, they don't follow all the rules for food.
As long as you're their favorite.
If you're Jackson Mickey, you can eat in the shower, apparently.
And I want to point out, Sam had asked up there, do they allow you to take ADHD medication? No, they do not.
See, that's another thing, man. Y'all don't want me on that island unmedicated. I will be shitting in the sand like a cat and burying it.
Oh, Allison, I want you to be aware that I love you with all my heart, but I also would love to watch the entertainment that would be you unmedicated on a Survivor island. A, trying to survive, and B, trying to play the game. And I want you to know.
Put me on the other tribe.
Yeah. I want you to know that I will hold your hand and support you and come visit you and hold you while you watch these shows back and be like, I love you, Allison. But then I'm going home and then being like, that fucking idiot, what is she doing on the show? Like,
oh my God, you guys, I would sit back and go, who is this crazy bitch? It's me. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Look, you gotta remember who you're talking to, honey. I walked my little shrimp drunk ass through a McDonald's drive-thru once.
I actually do agree.
Came up to the window like this, demanding a double, and he wouldn't give it to me.
Burger.
You're gonna go wait on me because I'm not in a vehicle? What's that about? It says drive through.
There's a child at the window.
Oh, no.
Somebody called their mother.
I love. Okay, so Aaron, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I do agree with Pokemon and 9 for saying that they should have rice from jump. I know the reason why they like introduced rice at this point in the game is because they calculated that it would be this way to kind of simulate the experience of 39 days. But also, I don't think they really accounted for a situation where the tribes don't accept the rice in the negotiations. And so then they're not getting the boost that they accounted for. And so it's like, okay, well, if there's no boost to the end of the game and they're going to be running on E and you could just keep offering them rice, they're not going to, sit out when they should because there's no way half these people have grip strength. But, they're doing it to themselves. Just give it to the bag of rice. I just insert it in camp. I don't know. Make them draw rocks for who loses votes or whatever mechanic you want to do to have the excuse. But I just feel like, yeah, I feel like just introduce it at the beginning because I don't know what I don't think the rice negotiations really doing anything for me at this point.
It's just, did you bring that up, Aaron, about not sitting out and it's kind of forcing hands here? Let's talk about the idol situation. We've got people not sitting out who have idols. We've got, I think, 3 in a row that have just walked out of here. I told Beth, I think these wasted idols need a resume. These idols have more cred in this game than these. What the hell is this holdout shit?
Honestly,
you trying to win $1 million or what?
But counterpoint.
Pull it out. It ain't that hard.
This is like one of the. Yeah, I've been pretty down on this season, but one thing like I do love about this season is that like it hasn't been like idol after advantage after advantage. Like how many times do I come on here and bitch about that, right?
Yeah.
Like I love that like the game is playing out pretty well right now. We had the whole Banu situation in the pre-merge that was like sucking our souls dry. But like since like the merge, right, it's been pretty fun. It's been pretty fluid. And we haven't seen the game change in a major way due to a stupid advantage, right? And I'm here for that. So like if they want to like hold on to their idol, like Tiffany probably should have played her idol. But I like that we're seeing a modern season play out on its own without all of these like shenanigans thrown into it.
I feel like it's just resume culture where it's like they're so afraid of getting to the end without making their like I'm Sandra standing up and playing the I don't know, even though it didn't really. But anyway, there's like a moment or like Natalie, like did you vote for who I told you to vote for? Like I'm not having my idol moment. I'm not having my big move in front of the jury. That they kind of just sit on that and be like, okay, well, I can make it like one more round, and then I could just play my idol and just be immune to the end of the game. And which I feel like nobody's really adjusted for the, I guess, tallest poppy syndrome that we've had in the last few seasons, where it's like, okay, the person that is the biggest threat is the target. So the play really should be, okay, I'm just going to play my idol because worst case scenario, I made it to the next round and, wait, I played an idol and they were blindsiding me. Now I look good, like the worst. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst case scenario in that situation is I played an idol that I got no votes or not enough votes for it to matter. But you still had an idol. So you have a story you can still talk about at the final tribal if people on the jury aren't aware of it. Hey, guys, this is what I did in order to better my chances. And here's why I played it. I wasn't sure. You're never 100% sure at these tribal councils. I had a feeling we were going to vote this way, which is why I voted that way or whatever. But I played my idol because it's a hot, potato for me. I got to get it out of my pocket and just ensure that I go to the next round. That's what I did. Here's the other things I did since then in order to get here.
Yeah, it's just I see where Tyler's coming from too. Like we're finally getting what we kind of have wanted for a long time. And
Trust your
it's
cast.
just
You know.
yeah. So
And trust your cat.
Trust
you
your
know what's funny?
cat.
My husband, who hasn't watched Survivor in 20 years, brought up another point. I had to just bring his ass in here. He keeps freaking coming in here like he wants to say something. I'm like, no. I know who you voted for in 2016. You ain't coming on here.
Oh.
But no, here's the thing. He's reformed. But anyway, here's the thing.
Wait, who is this?
My husband, Chris.
Oh,
Oh, who did you think? JoJo? No.
no, sorry. There was a fire truck outside my apartment, so I was disassociating and looking over at the fire truck, and now it's gone. But
He brought up another day. He kept on saying these things last night that were kind of funny. He was like, "So this guy Jeff's still on here," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why isn't he demonstrating the challenges? They've got these assistants coming in and rolling through and showing him how to do it, and he's yelling at him, telling him to dig whatever you say, and why doesn't he demonstrate it? Like, why did they film him doing it?" I'm like, that's a good point. Why haven't they ever filmed Jeff, who knows an awful lot about these challenges?
that's why I liked the question. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? They were like, Jeff, how long do you think you'd last at this challenge? And he was like, longer than Q and Liz or whatever, right?
Longer than 20 seconds.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see it too.
So I want to talk about the Tiffany blindside because I was this a good move for Maria and Charlie? I want the strategic breakdown here because I'm unsure. I don't know. What do we think?
Don't ask me.
I think it is, for one big reason, in that it lessens Kenzie's winner equity a little bit because she was not in on the vote, even though she wanted to do the vote last week. So what this does is says this is a move that we were able to make because we knew that Q and Kenzie did not have that strong of a bond. We wanted to get an idol out of the game. And worst case scenario, she played her idol and the other person who we knew that was going to receive votes, which was Q, was going to go home. So I think this was a really good move for them, should they make it to the very end, to be able to say, this is a move that we made actively against really at the end of the day, it's about against Kenzie and Tiffany.
Yeah.
And it also means that they're the only duo left in the game, which when you're looking at who's left there, it really depends on the challenge because we have had a diverse amount of people winning the immunity challenges, but Charlie's won the last two.
Yeah.
And Maria won the one before that, right? So, or one of the ones before that. So the two of them are also very capable, depending on the challenge, of winning immunity. And nobody is actively looking at them because of the smokescreen of Q. And they can continue to act calmly at tribal council and be like, yeah, this is a big issue. We don't know what the smokescreen is going to do this time, even though they fully know what's going to happen.
That's why you keep someone like Q too, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm thinking about who's probably going next, it's got to be either Liz or Venus, somebody who has a loud personality, and I'm thinking Venus. So I don't know. But I think that this was a really good move for the two of them. And the fact that they got Liz to go in on it, and I think, right, because she ended up not voting for Q. She did vote for,
yeah,
right?
Which
Yeah,
I think is
for,
a mistake, Beth. I think so Liz makes all this fuss about oh, I haven't been able to make a move. It was taken from me. She had a really great opportunity to tell Tiffany after the votes are cast, right? When Jeff's like, does anybody want to play an idol? That's when Liz tells Tiffany, listen, all the votes are coming to you. Play your idol tonight. And let's get Q out.
Oh, that would have been amazing. And
yeah.
I also think she could have said something right before they vote and just make it chaotic, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot, but I do think that the move, like you said, Tyler, is to say, hey, by the way, Tiffany, you are the vote tonight. You should play your idol. And if you're wrong, if we're all wrong, you vote for me next week.
Yeah.
And that's going to make Tiffany either not play her idol, and therefore Liz looks like going I told her to do it, Or she does play the idol, sees that now she can go, ooh, Liz might be the right person. But what Liz did was she allowed Maria and Charlie to take credit for something
Right.
rather than build up her own resume.
Exactly. And like Liz would have been in such a powerful like swing position after that, right? Because like he would have been gone and it would have been Charlie and Maria and Tiffany and Kenzie trying to like get Liz for the next vote, right? So like I just feel like it would have set up Liz like so well. It would have given her that resume move that she feels that she doesn't have, especially like being so like performative in front of the jury for such like a vocal like move at like a live tribal like that would have been so great for her. So I just feel like that was like a huge like missed opportunity. And you're right, like the credit all goes to Maria and Charlie, you know, like I have to give it to them. I think this is a really great move. And I think
it was a great move. And the fact that they were able to convince Liz makes it an even better move.
Yeah.
Because they got her to vote with Q.
Yeah. And Charlie, like, I want to give him a shout out for like his tribal council performance too, because like even I was convinced that that was not happening when Charlie was like, yeah, it's kind of weird how like you almost like wonder if there's like another plan going on because it is so quiet and like because we all are going for Q. Like it was like the perfect like smoke screen to just make sure Tiffany was feeling as good and at ease as possible. It was really great stuff. And yeah, interesting to see like Kenzie in like a on the outs of like information for once too. I'm curious like how Kenzie's gonna like recover from the, like where does Kenzie go next week? Aaron, what do you think?
Hopefully out the damn door, because I'm not a Kenzie fan. I think she's a great person. I'm not into it. I don't, if I hear I need something on my resume, I gotta make a big move. Shut the hell up and play the game, man. Get your head out of I need a big fat resume shit. Play the game, man. Not everybody has to know everything you're doing. You could freaking blow their minds at the final 3 or 2 or whatever and tell them what you've been doing, and they'll be like, man, you outwitted. Because you got to think about it. Outwit, outplay, outlast. Not out resume, not out this other shit. And I'm sorry, but it just it gets on my nerves when I hear that. And I've heard almost everybody say it. And I just want, you know, that's just I think Kenzie's a feisty little sprite, just like me. I love her to death, but man, I just think it's time. I just think it's time to go. I think it's time to go. Tiffany's gone. Let's get Kenzie out of here. This may give Venus the door. I really think she could shine a little bit more if you get her out of the way. Because what is Kenzie really offering here? What is she really offering? And you could make the same argument about Venus too. We know what Q's offering. Goat.
I think
drag him.
I think Kenzie is like I think Kenzie is like magic.
Yeah.
I totally forgot Ben is like still here. I'm so sorry, Ben. Not sorry.
Which one is Ben? Oh, Ben! Oh, and he had the Van Halen Yeah. I love Ben.
I was going to say that I think that Kenzie goes to Ben, by the way, and I think she goes to Venus, and I think that they try to make a trio, which Ben
and I would be
go
down for that trio.
He's
I
going to
would
go
be
with
down
Charlie
for
and
that.
Maria.
And I think like if Kenzie like took that trio all the way to final 3, I think that's a pretty like easy win for Kenzie. But I'm assuming at this point that Kenzie is 100% the winner. Like I don't see any other winner candidate here. I just think like that's where the edit is like leading us, right? And I could be wrong, but and
no,
like,
I'm with you on that because I do think
in mind. Yeah. Like sorry. With that in mind, like I think she's kind of like the opposite of D, right? Like D was in such a like structured group of 4 that just like dominated the whole season, had like no adversary whatsoever. Like she just like red carpet rolled to the finish line and everybody let her, and she was such a dominant player, right? I think that Kenzie has had nothing but like hiccup after hurdle after speed bump, and she has really made herself a very like independent player in a like free agent type of way. And I think she presents herself that way by like just being so damn like charming and like social and like witty funny with people. And
so Kenzie?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. She's like a social butterfly to me. Like, I think she would be a really great example of like a social survivor winner.
She's somebody that I would
Allison,
argue
I know
that
you're like so disagreeing with me. That's
I
okay.
would argue that Ben is social
Yeah.
and that she is social but strategic as
But
well.
does Ben have agency in this game?
So allow me to finish my thought, because that's
Yeah,
exactly
sorry.
where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry, that came off as really rude. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Oh, it's Tyler. It's Tyler. It's Tyler.
I interrupted him before and he apologized to me, which I was like, whatever. So what I was going to say though is that she comes across like she knows what she's doing from a place of confidence.
Yes.
And that makes you want to work with her, because not only do you like her, but you also like think that she's going to provide something strategically. People don't see Ben that way. They purely see him as a social person. So someone that is pleasant to be around, that isn't dominating people's thoughts or feelings, that is coming across as somebody that you need to like go and comfort, and that, or he'll like come and comfort you, but he's there for a vote, like whatever. That's the difference between the two of them. And then Venus comes across as only strategic with no social skills.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like Kenzie's kind of like a cross between the two of them, if that makes sense, which does make her a really big threat. And to be quite frank, and this might sound incredibly egotistical and I apologize, I see a lot of how I used to play games like this in Kenzie because of that exact reason, where I felt like I'm a warm enough personality and that people want to work with me, but that I'm confident and that I can articulate strategy that makes sense in a way that people want to work with me for both reasons. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
She's gonna be really interesting to like put in my winners rankings. Like, I'm so curious, like how, like if she is the winner, like where, like she would rank, like maybe like I don't know, like Denise Stapley. Like that's kind of like my first thought in terms of like where I would put her, maybe, because Denise like faced like a lot of hiccups and hurdles like on her winning season too. But yeah, Aaron, like I would love to hear your thoughts on I don't know, just all of this. We've kind of been like bouncing around, but like is Kenzie the winner? Like, was this like a good move for Maria and Charlie? Like, I want all of the Aaron thoughts.
You know what? I think it largely depends on where the idol falls, because now that all the people that had idols are out of the game, that's like a big power shift. And so depending on who has the idol, that could change who, like the laser focused, oh, we need to get this person out because they have an idol, or because on paper, if I'm looking at this group and I'm anybody that's not Charlie or Maria, I feel like I would be looking at those two, just because I feel like they would stick out so much from this vote. And Charlie winning a second immunity, it's, now it's like, and Charlie, who beat Hunter, and it's sort of like, ooh, we should also stop Charlie before Charlie takes off and wins everything. So I think Maria or Charlie could be big targets in the next coming weeks. Maybe if not this first vote, maybe if not like final 7, final 6, final 5, I could see at least somebody going for them if they're still both there. Just because it'd just be so apparent. But and that's why I think it was a good move that they actually got rid of Tiffany too, because I think if Tiffany's there instead of Q, it's a lot easier to form an opposition. But with Q still there, there's Q, who's like a social pariah. There's Venus, who's a social pariah in a different way. There's Ben, who's kind of doing his own thing and not really using the agency that he has. There's Liz, that's been trying to find something, but like, it's kind of like the, like for lack of a better castaway, like an Owen, or like Jake, in that like trying to do things, and has the mindset for it, but just
Just not
however the
clicking.
cards, it's not clicking.
Yeah.
And then who's left? Kenzie, who's probably a shield, at least for Charlie and Maria as well. So yeah, I don't see anything really forming together with this group. Whereas if Tiffany was still there, I feel like it's a lot easier to group people together and do something.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's a good point. Like, it's whoever wins the season. I'm like thinking it's Kenzie, but like whoever, like it's really exciting to see like so much navigating of like really shaky ground. Like you're totally right, Aaron, that like the only like solid structure left is Maria and Charlie, right? And then like everybody else is like kind of on their own and like very fluid, like no loyalty to anybody. Like are like maybe we're entering like the second phase of like voting blocks for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Like I could see that. I could totally see that being a thing. So yeah, I don't know. Really excited to see like the direction for the rest of the season. I do want us to talk real quick because we did get asked about it earlier. Let's see. So if y'all have been living under a rock, Jeff Probst announced live last week that Survivor 50 is going to be all returnees. And like playing Overwatch with Beth, like I've been like starting to talk about it, but like I wanted to like save it for the show. I just want to like chat about it for like just a few minutes before signing off. Cause like my first thought is like, yes, finally, like we're so like ready for this, right? And then I'm like, is it like, should it be like only from people like 41 up? Should it be players from like 35 up? Because 34 was like the last all returnee season minus Winners at War. Or should we include old school players like back in the mix again? Like I would just love to like hear y'all's thoughts because I'm torn, I'm split.
I think real quick, there's a couple things about that. Do these unused idols get to come back for a second chance to play?
Listen, you saw how shit Ghost Island was. Be careful
Oh,
what you
gosh.
wish for.
Yeah, I'm like thinking, I'm sorry, and I know y'all might be too young for this, but I can't get Kenzie's hair catching on fire out of my head. And I really, all I could think is like, I remember when Michael Jackson was filming that Pepsi commercial for the Super Bowl, and he burned, they fucked up his hair. Went up. I don't know if you've ever seen that footage. It's crazy. But like, I was real little when that happened. And like, I was watching it last and I was like, damn, even Kenzie's torch is trying to take her ass out. Did you just see it? He burned it up? I mean, anyway, I personally feel like if you've had a second chance and you've already played like 2 or 3 times, it's time for someone else to play. That's how I feel.
So like, no,
I've
like
seen Rob.
Rob.
I've seen.
Yeah.
Look, I'm watching Boston Rob on Deal or No Deal with his dad bod right now. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, Aaron, what do you think? Like, should it be like all like modern era people?
I think casting is super, super, super important. I think when I look at the all returnee seasons, the 5 of them, I feel like Heroes versus Villains and Second Chance worked so well because the casting was good and the spread for Winners at War and the spread for Game Changers. I mean, they were casts, but I feel like the imbalances in the cast really impacted how both of those seasons played out. And so I feel like I would want a cast that is balanced so that no matter what the boot list is, like you could feel like any order you put the people in, you could get a good season.
Sure.
That's all I want, because I don't want this whole build up to 50 and then it just be like a wet fart. I'm actually more excited for Survivor 49, just because I feel like, there would be that
What's going on for
pressure.
Survivor 49?
I just feel like there would be that pressure of like knowing that, okay, like
oh, like
Survivor
now that
50
it's
is
like
the
announced, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
like
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You better believe. I bet that they save one spot for somebody who's in like Survivor 49 that nobody knows, and they have to film it back to back. And it would just be like, let's
Oh.
just throw this random person in here that nobody's seen before. I think
That's
it's so
like
good.
that's like I know like I'm
That's
sure
what
we all
happened
feel
with Russell,
similarly
right?
about
Russell, yeah.
Russell. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm in the camp of like I think it should be Survivor 35 and up. I agree, Allison, that like we don't need to see Sandra again. We don't need to see Parvati again. Like seen it, done it, we're good. Please no. And I love both of those people, right? And Boston.
Yeah, they on other shows now. They've moved
which
on.
is fine. Yeah, I think that was a good
yeah.
connection for them. Yeah.
Yes.
But I know, like, Beth knows this about me. Like, I love Survivor Cambodia Second Chances. That's like my second favorite season of all time. And you're right, Aaron. Like, the theme of Second Chances worked so well, and like the cast was so good because of it. And it was fan voted too. I think we should bring back Second Chances, fan vote for 35 and up. That way that Dominic and Chrissy in
Have 50
particular,
players. You know,
Right?
to vote between 50 players, so you want
No,
cast.
okay, so you'd laugh, but I like also as a joke sent to Tyler, I was like, what if they just did Squid Games, but like every contestant that was available to
I'd be here
ever
for that.
who played before, whoever, whatever, can come back, and you may or may not even make it on TV because you're throwing your risk right out. Could you imagine if they said we invited every survivor who's ever played the game to do the most massive season thing, and
God.
basically
Oh my God, we'd be here for 2 years.
But what I mean is like no, like they would eliminate
challenge coverage.
They would
They eliminate like 100 people.
They would
Yeah,
eliminate like 75 people or 75% of people after the first episode or something like that. So like most people may not even actually have a confessional or make it on TV or whatever. But it's just like their whole point is like, you come out here, you're going to try again. Let's go. If you want to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I jokingly said that. But
yeah, I just like I think like the Second Chances theme was so good, and the fan vote was so fun, right? And like the reveal of the cast at the reunion, and then getting on the bus and going out to play Survivor again, like right then and there, was so cool. And like there are so many people that like just from the modern era alone, I think could be like really great Second Chances candidates, right? Like I'm thinking like Jesse, I'm thinking like gosh, who else?
There's so many.
Jonathan from like 41 or 42. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking of like all of like the bigger names that I think have good stories for Second Chances. Yes, Shan, absolutely.
I think,
but I really want Dominic and I really want Chrissy involved in that cast. I think they really deserve another shot. And like they are the ultimate Second Chances candidates, in my opinion.
I think if they do Second Chances, it makes sense to do 35 and up, just because none of them had an opportunity to come back where it wasn't like none of them came back for like Edge of Extinction, right?
Right.
No.
So anybody who's been in those casts, I think, should be fair game if they do Second Chances. And I do think that it should just be 35 and up. I don't think that they should go backwards, because at that point, everybody at that point would have had an opportunity to either do Cambodia or Game Changers if they were on the production list or on the fan list of being talked about. That's how I do feel. That doesn't mean that some people were asked and couldn't do it, or some people like they were robbed in the voting and like Natalie Bolton should have been there or whatever. But like also there are so many shows right now that are casting not just the big stars from these shows, but some of like the ones that were just like good television and are like,
they can go on the Traitors.
Right? They can go on Traitors. They can go on the GOAT. They can go House of Villains. They can go.
Yes.
This is the new era of reality TV.
They can go on House of MILF. Who cares?
Right.
But you know what? Listen here. What about if you included people? Is there a season? Is there one season that no one has ever been brought back from, like Survivor Thailand?
Thailand had Sheehan.
Yeah, I would have
said so Sheehan was brought back, but like, is there any historical season out there, you Survivor nerds? Is there one season out there that no one has ever been asked back?
for a long time it was Guatemala until Danny, but that was Winners at War. Like I think that was like a big one where like, because Stephanie and Bobby
Yeah.
John obviously have, you know, were returnees, but like the new people or like the new people from
I'm
like
trying
a
to go
One
through,
World or
but
like
my first thought was
Not a world.
Fiji, but Yao Ming was Fiji, right?
yeah, that was the
my
only
first thought was,
returnee, the only
my
one.
first
But
thought was
Fiji's a big one for
Nicaragua.
me. I need Fiji people.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be people that could, you know, very well be worth bringing back who have never been asked from 35 below. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Anybody
If you,
below 20 has had plenty of chances to be invited back
Yeah.
between fans versus favorites and villains
chances.
and heroes and
Yep.
second chances and game changers and all that stuff, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not choosing anybody from the old school, as sad as that is, because there's so many great characters, right?
Mhm.
it'd be
What
fun to
That's why I
watch,
was
wouldn't it?
thinking, that's why I was thinking Nicaragua. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I do.
only
I kind
Brenda has returned from that.
Brenda,
season.
yeah.
But
And then I was trying to think like Redemption Island. Nobody's been back from except for Rob, but I don't
I
count
don't think
him.
anybody's worth bringing back.
No,
and
but I'm trying to-
Adelaide
Philip
was
and
on the
Andrea,
second
but
chances
yeah.
ballot.
I'm trying to come back and think like, okay, South Pacifica, Cochrane, and Sophie played
Yeah.
Winners at War and that kind of thing, and Dawn. Philippines was fine. Like One World had people. Like it's just you kind of go through and you're like, okay, where are the actual gaps? And it's the seasons nobody cares about as much.
Yeah, right.
So
Like
I
Tyler.
Wait, Worlds Apart? Has anybody come back from Worlds Apart? I don't think. I think Worlds...
what's her face?
Shireen.
Shireen, thank you. Yeah.
That was because it was right. I remember that's right because they used up half the Worlds Apart
And
review
Joe.
to be like.
And Joe. Yeah.
Oh, and Joe. Oh, I forget Joe's.
That was his first season. Isn't that so funny that
Yeah,
that was his first
I know.
season?
Yeah. Oops. Never mind.
But I said Sheehan when I meant Shireen. I was like, sure.
And Mike was technically on the second chances ballot
Yes.
before he was ineligible
because he
after
won.
he won. Yeah.
So, but what I was going to say to answer the question seriously, though, just like super quickly, is
Yeah.
I think that Survivor 50 will be the last season. I don't think that they're going to do anything after 50, and I think the reason
Wow.
why this is my big bold call. I think that Jeff is and the crew will shut it down because they're cutting a lot of costs even now when they've signed all these things to save money, and they're
Yeah.
still not putting out a lot of money into the show.
Yeah.
So they're starting to do these viewing events, and I think a lot of that is try to get up more support, and I don't know how much of it is going to be working for them or whatever. I think that they're going to end at 50. I think that's going to be the last season. And if that is the case and they don't do second chances, I could absolutely have them do like the biggest legends of all eras. And it's just like some of them are winners, some of them are Cerise, some of them are like the new era legends, and
Just
that
like
kind
a
of thing.
celebration.
It's just
of-
celebration of the best
yeah,
of the
yeah,
best
yeah,
who have
yeah,
ever
yeah.
played the game,
Yeah.
regardless
Tony,
if they played one
yeah.
time or seven. Like, here you go. Here's the best of the best. Throw it at the screen. We want to accommodate our new fans who are only new era people. We want to accommodate people who only watched Borneo to like All Stars. We want to accommodate all whatever. I could absolutely see them doing
and maybe
that.
like a little bigger cast, like maybe like 24, like an Australian
Agreed.
Survivor.
Agreed.
They
Yes.
need to do that. I really,
Mhm.
I do not like this whole small.
Wow,
18...
Beth, I got chills like when you mentioned that. Like, could you like? I could totally see that being the case.
Mhm.
And that is just weird to
Mhm.
like.
You know what?
I could see them do
I
it.
could also see 49 actually turning into like, let's do 49 as like the new era All Stars, and then 50 will just take people from like
That'd
the
be great
whole
too.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just to be like, okay, at least we did like, you know, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
So what are they going to do? What are they going to do if they stop at 50? Are they going to take that money and put it into that sorry ass graphic online game that they keep advertising? Have you seen that? That is some 2004 graphics. I said, what is this? Is what they want me to play?
That is
so
like
funny.
the CDs I used to get to
That
play
is a
games.
CD-ROM you order in 1-800 big Survivor fan.
I had the Survivor board game, or that Survivor PC game that was like the first 4 seasons.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
Remember when they would advertise at the end in the early days, like, oh, and people don't forget, Survivor Thailand is now available on DVD. Order now, or
Yep.
whatever at the end of the net, because you could start. Go ahead and pre-order. Man, you don't know how lucky you have it. You can just get on Paramount Plus, and Tyler gets on his little Paramount Plus Survivor channel. And it's just on a loop. And there's more than one Survivor channel. There's more than one. Like I saw it in my guide the other day. I was like, there's multiple.
Well, no, so there's one live TV station that plays reality TV. So they'll do like a chunk of like Survivor for a few hours, and then yeah. But yeah. Gosh. Okay. Like, so
show the board. We need to see who's lost somebody. I guess.
So yeah, and also like just one more thing about All Stars, like we Beth and I and Allison, like we've been talking about like doing a brand deal for like casting this like season and then like playing it out in like a brand deal. So we're gonna be like thinking about that more and like planning it, but that's definitely something we want to do in our off season. But yeah, here is our draft. So Beth lost Tiffany.
God, how?
Can we talk about how my first 2 picks are the only first 2 picks that are left in the game, but they're also my only picks?
Iconic.
I love how Tyler has all of Sega.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Lord,
yeah.
Allison,
I don't know about
I know what's happening right now. I am hanging on by a thread. I'm the dingleberry in this group. Every turd is getting flushed, and I'm stuck on that big piece of hair. I just cannot get free. It's just not happening. No. I bet these two jokers are still gonna be up on this board a week from today.
Oh, I think they will too. Or Q goes next week. But I also want to just say, because I didn't have a chance to say this earlier, I don't know if y'all feel this way or not, but if Kenzie doesn't win, I think Charlie's winning.
I'm going Maria.
Yeah, I can see it.
Of course, I'm saying don't sleep on Ben.
I don't know. I'm telling you, every week I'll come on here and say there's something that I do not trust about Ben.
You know what? I think Ben, what gets me? You are Charlie. I am Ben to an extent because we both share a love for music. And I'm willing to forgive the fact that you didn't know who Tori Amos was the other day. I'm willing.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, I'm done. I'm too fucking old.
Do you know Tori Amos?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Tori Amos? Tori Anus? Tori
Amos, the musician.
Who?
See? It's brunch. Listen, the conversation we had, I sent him Tori Amos, that's Tori with an I and Amos, she was very big in the early middle 90s in the grunge era, and she's a pianist and has a beautiful voice. Y'all should look her up. It's just a real beautiful song called Silent All These Years. That was her breakout hit. But anyway, she does a musical number playing the piano to Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. And Kurt Cobain said he liked this version better than his own, and he never really said things like that. So we were talking about grunge, and he goes, "Oh, you grunge like Evanescence?" I said, "God, what the fuck did he just say to me?" I said, "Eva who?" I had to look it up, and then I go, "Oh no!"
Okay, now we get to yell at you.
I'm not gonna shit. I'm not gonna shit on Evanescence. I knew who they were. I just couldn't remember. Okay. And my argument was, I'm not broken-hearted, angry goth chick, heavy black eyeliner, standing on a building with a wind machine on me. Okay, singing about "Bring Me Back to Life" and shit. I'm talking about some real hardcore grunge fucking emotions from the 90s. I was in freaking, I don't know, one of those math classes I fucking hated, geometry or some shit that I don't even know what it is. When they announced on at our high school that Kurt Cobain was dead. That's how far back I go.
Yeah.
So it's like when I'm
just
talking
so-
about grunge.
You
That's
mean
what I'm
grunge. Also,
Grunge.
I just want to say, like, I didn't know who Tori Amos is.
And I
But
get that.
also
Yeah, I
would
get.
not. I also would not have ever categorized Evanescence as grunge.
Thank you, Beth. I
They're
love
an
Evanescence.
alternative hard rock band.
Yeah, that's very,
I
very
have been,
different.
I've
Listen,
been
that
on the
was my
interstate
grunge in middle
screaming
school.
what's
My
that
grunge
chick
was
that
Avril
sings
Lavigne.
Amy whoever? I love it. She got a great voice. I've been singing I could scream that song too.
It's so good.
But I about dropped my phone. Tyler, I wish you could have seen me. I was on the floor. I was in a ball. I was snot. I said, what have I done? What have I
You know
done?
what? Okay, Tyler, you know what to do here. Pretend that it's me playing the game, doing like my dumb like little voice. What would my reaction to you have been?
What the fuck?
Exactly. What the fuck?
What the fuck? That's like my favorite thing to say.
So good.
All right. I think that's all for us tonight. I am very hungry. So
I haven't eaten basically at all today,
Yes.
so I'm.
I think
I
Aaron's
want to
good,
eat
'cause he had
Nutella and
Applebee's.
onion rings. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Nutello.
Nutella. All right. Well, we'll be back next week, not for a watch party that will get flagged on YouTube, but for a regular recap. And I will be streaming live from my mom's house, so maybe Donna Lyons will make an appearance on the show next week.
Maybe we'll get a cameo by somebody else. An itty bitty person.
Oh no. That's okay.
What? How dare you? How dare you? I've had my
Like-
grandson on this show.
Like my wedding, no kids.
I want to give a big shout out to my grandson, 2.5. He's 2.5 tomorrow, or no, Saturday. We are officially full-blown potty training.
Oh.
Crazy.
We're dropping the tinkles in the potty. I could not be prouder of him.
There you go. Big things happening
But-
over there.
But I really won't be happy till he wipes his own ass. That's just the way it is.
True. And Aaron, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Aaron's like, I'm never coming back on the show.
Right.
again.
He's like texting.
No, I
Jen.
really like it here. I like checked that for a second. No, I'm
No, you're good.
I was fully online shopping for a full 10 minutes, and then I realized, no, we're still on the air. What am I doing?
Yeah, Sarah, I was
That's
like,
how
oh,
we
I
do it
thought we were
here.
just talking.
You don't
Listen,
say
we're
this kind of
multitaskers.
shit in front of the boss.
Who's the boss? You?
I'm joking.
Maybe if I'm really still, she'll think I froze, and then I'll be off the hook.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh no, I have a bad storm. All right. Beth's doing a good job freezing.
Shh, stop
eyes
it.
My eyes started to go off to the side. Did you see that? Hold on.
I did. It was
I'm
like,
gonna do it
what?
again. They did it.
Oh yeah, I saw the movement. Yeah.
All right,
Oh, crap.
everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.